Okay, let's finish the. This is video 4, and we are going to. Let's finish the things we start last video that we say we got to this that we raised this number to the power of each of them. The numerator is power of 3 and denominator is power of 3, and then we find out 3 times 3 times 3 is 27. 3 times 3 times 3 is equal to 27, because 3 times 3 is 9, 9 times 3 is 27. And the same as 4 to the power of 3 is equal to 4 times 4, 4 times 4, 4 times 4, 16 times 4 is 64. Okay, I was gonna say that this is, this is multiplication 5 times. Actually, this is 5 times this one, and you are going to see the result. The result of this, because this is, we multiply an integer by a fraction. What we do, I said, in multiplication of the fraction, we say we have two fractions here, or use parentheses, 5 over 6. You know that we multiply the numerator together is 15, and the denominator is 4 times 6 is 24. So we multiply the numerator together and the denominator together. Here actually we have numerator, but denominator is 1 actually. So what we do, we multiply 5 times 27 is 135, and 1 multiplied by 64 is 64, and minus, you got the minus here, minus 135 over 64. And we cannot simplify this one, because none of those divide, as we talked about it earlier, divided by 5, if we simplify it, divide both sides by 5, both numerator and denominator by 5, we cannot do it. By 2, we cannot do it. By 3, this is going to be divisible by 3. 5 plus 3 plus 1 is equal to 9. 9 is divisible by 3. So 135 we can divide it by 3. Okay. It's going to be 45. Okay. But we cannot. We can divide the numerator by 3, but not the denominator by 3, because this we cannot do that. It has remainder. Is not divisible by 3. And then what? So it's going to be decimal. The result is going to be decimal. So this is simplified enough. I was gonna talk about, you have to realize that this is multiplication. If we say 5 times something, there is multiplication. But this is the total, is the answer would be different if we say that minus 5 plus 3 over 4 to the power of 3 is going to be minus 5 plus. Okay, first we find the answer in parentheses. Is going to be 9 over 60. 27 over 64. Because 3 to the power of 3 is going to be 27. 4 to the power of 3 is going to be 64. So this is different. Then we go to the multiplication of the, addition of these fractions. So actually it's going to be minus 5 over 1. 5 is actually, we can write it as a 5 minus 5 over minus 5 over 1 plus 27, 64. So what we do, one of the way is, as I said earlier, we can make these divide the numerator and denominator by 64, and we can solve it this way. Let's find out the result. What we do, we multiply the first, this one, both denominator and numerator by 64. Okay, so we would have the same, exactly the same denominator. So 5 times 64 minus 5 times 64 is equal to minus 320 over 64. Okay, so I just want to let you know that we have to be careful when we have 1 minus 5 times this one. This is multiplication. 5 multiplied by this expression, you know, with this quantity. So I was just going to make sure that you understand, you know, or you notice that the multiplication here, actually minus 5 is multiplied by this, but this one here, minus 5 is plus this, and the answer is going to be totally different. Okay, then we say when we can say now minus 320 over 64, which we can simplify this one, but right now for the purpose of solving this fraction is we don't simplify. Okay, see, 320 plus 27, 347 by 64. You know, we write that, we make all those, we multiply the first fraction by 64, the numerator and denominator, and then we add these together, and then you see that, I'm sorry, this is a minus here. This is the minus here. Yeah, I just want to minus 320 plus 27. You have to notice that this is has a minus sign on it behind it. So this is actually is going to be 2 minus 293, I think, over 64. Okay. 293, yeah. So the result is going to be this when we add this. So you just make sure that the sign, you know, is very important. You see that 5 is multiplied or add. Okay, that's enough for fractions. Now we go to we talked about this. These are fractions, fraction numbers, and then decimal. You know, there are some numbers like 3 over 4 is equal to 0.75. It has only 2 decimal places, 0.75, or 63 over 64 is going to be 0.984375. See, this one has more decimal. I mean, we end up with 2 decimal numbers after this point. Okay, well, we have 6 of them here. So like over 3 over 8, for example. 3 over 8 is equal to 0.375. See, what I'm trying to say that you see all kind of different fractions with different decimal number. Some of them, there's 6 of them, there are 3 of them, some of them, like 1 over 3. 1 over 3 is going to be 0.33, and it continues forever. We can change all these to fractions. We have see that 0.75 is 3 over 4, and in the calculator I'm going to show you how you change this decimal to fraction, and this one. So some of the numbers that just continues, forever, but they're the same number, 1, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. We can change this one, but there are some numbers. There are some numbers that it doesn't end, like radical 2. Radical 2, if you put it in the calculator, you will see 1, 4, 1, 4, 2, 1, 3, 5, and so on. So this is every time the number is different, but like 1 over 3 is 0.333. We could change this one to decimal, to fraction, the decimal to fraction, but we cannot change this number to a fraction. Or radical 5 is the same. Radical 5 is 2.23, 606, 7, and so on. So this number, or we talk about pi. Okay, pi. You know pi. What? You find the result. You find what pi. The value of pi is 3.14159, and so on. So this number you cannot change it to fraction. We call these numbers irrational number. Irrational number. Okay, irrational. But the other these here, we have integers or negative integers or positive integers, the fractions, and this decimal that would end up with some specific decimal places. We can change all these to a fraction. We can change this one 1.75. Like 3 over 2 is 1.5. We can change 1.5 to fraction, 3 over 2. Or 3.5 divided by 2 is going to be 1.75. 1.75. So just these are irrational numbers. Irrational numbers, even okay, we talk about this pretty soon in details. So let's talk about this rational number. Adding, subtracting, multiplication, and division. See, we have like minus radical 2, minus 5 radical 2, plus 3 radical 2, plus 4 radical 2. See what's going to be the result? Minus 1, minus 5, minus 6. And this is, we have plus 7. Minus 6 plus 7 is going to be radical 2. 1. See? Minus 6 radical 2 plus 7 radical 2 is going to be radical 2. Okay? Let me tell you something. Like we have minus radical 2 plus 3 radical 2 minus radical 3. Like we have here. See, you cannot add this because the index of the this radical number, the index is different from this one. We can add like minus 5 radical 3. We can add these together, but we cannot, like the answer is going to be radical 2 minus 6 radical 2. The index is 3. So you cannot add these together. You cannot say, hey, minus 2 minus 1. Here that we are talking about coefficient. Minus 1 radical 2 plus 3 radical 2 minus 2 minus radical the radicand is 2 and the index is 3. We cannot add this one to this one. So, but when we have, you understand what I mean. Like any other things, like when you have a addition of 3 over 4 plus 5 over 2 to the power of 2. How do you solve it? You have to first find the answer of this for this part of the expression. We have 3 over 4 and then we plus 5 over 2 is 25 and 2 over 2 to the power of 2, 5 over 5 to the power of 2 is going to be 25, 2 to the power of 2 is going to be 4. So then we can see that the result is going to be 28 over 4, which we divided all by 4. It's going to be 4. It's going to be 1. It's going to be 7. The result is going to be 7. So I just want to let you know that this one you have to get the answer for this parentheses and then add these together. Add it to 3 over 4. So in other things, the other things like we have minus a plus 4a, and then we have minus b plus 4 minus 5b. See, you cannot add all this together because this is b. We have to those actually the variable. You look at the coefficient, no problem. But the variable here are different. The variable is a, okay, and this one is b. So when we want to add these together, it's going to be plus 3a, which we don't write the plus usually, and then plus 4b. This is going to be, we cannot add b, all other things, a, b, 2, we have exactly, we can add these together because all the variable part is the same, but the coefficient is minus 2 plus 1 is equal to minus ab over 2. Okay, now we gonna go and subtracting these together. Okay, we talked about addition. Radical 2 plus 5 radical 2 is equal to 7 radical 2. Or radical 2 minus 5 radical 2 is going to be minus 3 radical 2. Okay, now we talk about multiplication. What's going to be a radical 2 times radical 2? See, when you have multiplication, you can use the general rule. If radical a, the index, you look at the index and then times radical. The index is the same, okay, which is 2, the square root of a. This is going to be multiplied. I'm sorry. I would just want to let you know that the general rule is AB. A times B. This is it. Okay, this is A and B. 2 times 2 is equal to radical 4, which is 2. Okay? Or it plus minus 2. We will talk about this later. But if you have sometimes you say this one want to be positive, okay? This actually what is happening? Okay, let me explain to you this one. Why this is going to be like this? Actually, this one radical 4 is equal to 4 to the power of 1 over 2. Okay? You can write this way. Let's write this one too. We multiply this together. We can write this one as 2 over 2 to the power of 1.5 plus 2 to the power times this time 2.5. What's going to happen? You know that we talked about it earlier, that this is actually, we can write this way, 2 to the power 1 over 2 over 2. Means this one being multiplied 2 times. Okay, I'm going to tell you that what's going to happen when you raise a number to a power, like we have 2 over 2 to the power of 3 to the power of 4. It's going to be this exponent here is going to multiply by 3. It's going to be 2 to the power of 12. Means actually what is happening here, 2 to the power of 3 is getting multiplied 4 times. 2 to the power of 3, 2 to the power of 3, 2 to the power of 3. Okay? And then when we want to simplify that, get to the a number, we find the result of this is we say 2, we write the base and add these together. Okay, 3 plus 3 6 plus 3 9 plus 3 12 to the power of 12. Actually, this is like this. Okay. All right. You know, I'm sorry. Sometimes my English is not very good exactly, but I'm trying to make the point, and you guys get the point. Not, you know, my English is not that good to tell you all everything. Tell you everything. Okay, now let's show you graphically. Okay, what is this number? We have 0, and we have 1, and we have 2. You say that radical 2 is 1.4. It's actually, when you get here, is 1.5, okay? Because in the middle of these two, it's going to be, but it's just a little behind this 1.5. Is 1.414 up to 3 decimal places. This one. Okay. or the same as minus. If we have a minus, we can write minus radical 2 means 1, 2 here, and almost this is, it should be, if in the middle, 1.5. This is going to be minus 1.4. Okay, we just write with 1 decimal places, 1.4. Just use 1 decimal places. Okay, round it to 1 decimal places. So if 1.4, this is what is going to happen when we say 1.4, like here, make it larger. This is 1, and we had 0, and then we had minus 1 here. Oh, let's make it 2. Okay, this is 2, this is 1. Okay, I was gonna say that minus 1.4 is, this is minus, and this is 0.4 between, it's a minus 1.4, which is minus radical 2. Okay, too much for that, and let's talk about, we talk about multiplication. Okay, we have 3 radical 3 times 9 radical 3. See, what you do, you multiply the coefficient together is 27, and radical 3 times radical 3 is 3. Because when you radical 3 times radical 3 is equal to radical 9, and which is 3 to the power of 2, and this has power of 2, is going to be 3. What is actually happens, it said 9 radical 2, we can write it like this. Okay? And then when you raise, you can write this way too. 9 is 3 to the power of 2, and then we have 1 over 2 to the exponent. Okay? Then you multiply this exponent by this one, is going to be 1 over 2 times 2, which is 3 to the power of 1, which is 3. Okay, so this is the multiplication of radicals. Like if you have radical x times radical y is equal to radical xy. These are unknown numbers, and so like if you have radical 3x times 4x is going to be radical 12x2, because these are getting multiplied by each other because they have the same index. So we can separate it. We can say, as you know, like this, we can write radical 12 times radical x2, and the result is going to be 12 times x2 if we bring